Hey there, welcome back to the Goth Guitarist. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Behringer Studio Control and Communication Center with integrated audio interface, also known as the Behringer Studio XL. And on top of that, we're going to be taking a look at a pair of Behringer Studio 50 USB monitor speakers. So let's get into it. Okay, so first up we're going to take a look at the Behringer Studio XL audio interface. It comes in a nice box, looks like this. Absolutely huge, but then the unit's quite big as well. Nice picture on the back telling you all the ins and outs. Really well packaged, what you'd expect from Behringer. Came with a power supply, a USB A cable, so not USB-C but USB-A cable, the usual musical connection on the other end. Can't remember the technical term for it. Really nicely packaged, really easy to set up. If you're using a Mac, it's pretty much plug and play. Due to the Mac's core technology, you can literally just plug it in. There's no drivers, nothing to download. Your DAW and your system should recognise it straight away. So it's a really nice looking unit. I'm not going to be able to show you it physically, so you just have to have a look at the pictures from it. Because I've got it all basically plugged in and I'm using it obviously to record this YouTube video. Lots of lovely orange and green lights all over it. It's a really smart metal chassis unit, really solidly made, and it looks really nice. It's kind of like a matte black finish, so it does get a bit of fingerprints all over it. What you're actually getting with the unit is you're getting 2 XLR TRS combination line inputs, and you're getting 4 unbalanced TRS line inputs on top of that for your inserts. You get a 3.5mm stereo auxiliary input, and there's also the option to plug in an XLR talkback microphone. But the unit itself does also include a talkback microphone, and I'll come on to that a little bit later. Also specs wise, just checking my sheet here, we've got 3 pairs of stereo outputs. Now this is one of the big reasons I bought this audio interface. I wanted more monitoring outputs, basically, more options to listen to my mixes. And you've now got 3 selectable pairs of stereo monitor outputs. So you've got an A, B, C, all with 3 independent trim controls for the sound, which is absolutely fantastic. Your inputs, the 2 XLR inputs, have got their own 2 separate stereo gain trim controls, and also there is a pair of controls as well for the inputs 3, 4, 5 and 6. So really versatile just on the inputs and outputs. Again, there's the whole reason I looked at this unit. And on top of that, you've got 2 independent headphone amplifier outs. So if you were in a studio situation where you had your own vocal booth, or you had a separate partitioned area, you can actually talk to the other person with a separate microphone. They've got their own separate headphones for monitoring and all the rest of it. Absolutely brilliant. I'm not using that in this way. There are some features on here that are just not applicable to me. And like I say, the reason I bought the unit was for the output monitoring and the input options rather than the talkback options. On top of that, you've separately got a mono switch. You've also got a mute button, and you've also got a dim switch as well, which is great. If anyone comes in, you can just whack that button and it drops it all down by about 20 dB, I think. Brings it down to a nice level so you can actually talk to people. Various other switches on there. You've got obviously selections for what inputs you want to come in. So if you're using your stereo XLR inputs, you can push the buttons to tell the machine that that's what inputs you're using, and then obviously you can enable 3 and 4, 5 and 6 along the way as well. You've also got a 48 volt phantom power, so if you're using a microphone that needs power, you can just pop that switch on as well. It's a really great unit. I didn't know this unit existed at all until I started looking around. I currently was using a Behringer UMC 22 audio interface. I'll put a picture up if you've not seen one of those. Tiny little unit. It's only got 2 inputs on it and only 1 pair of outputs for your monitor speakers, which, to be honest with you, for the last 6 years has done me absolutely fine. I was running that into a pair of pre-Sonus 3.5 inch, I think they are, sort of bookshelf monitor speakers. Really good speakers, really good flat response, great sound on them. They just were a little bit lacking in places and a bit weak, hence the reason I bought the other Behringer speakers, which we'll come on to shortly. So yeah, the UMC 22 was a great little unit. When I started looking around, I thought, wouldn't it be great if you could get that audio interface with the 2 Midas preamps? They've both got the Midas preamps in there. Wouldn't it be great if you could get that audio interface into a bigger unit with more inputs and more outputs? So I started looking around. I didn't even think to look at Behringer to start with for some reason, and I spotted the Mackie Big Knob, which, if you are into your studio gear, you're probably already aware of this. I wasn't aware of it, and this Behringer Studio XL is basically a clone of the Mackie Big Knob, but being Behringer, it's at a fraction of the cost with still real good quality output as well. So for me, this was about £135, I think, which I bought from Toman. I thought, perfect, that's great. Why is nobody talking about this audio interface with monitor control? You know, I noticed that Behringer do one called the Xenix or something, which is a monitor control primarily without the audio interface, although I think you can use it as one, but that's not its main function. It really is a monitor controller. So the reason I wanted it was I wanted to be able to run a mixing desk into the 2 inputs and have 3 lots of monitor speakers coming out. So basically I have 1 monitor speakers, 1 monitor out set up with my pre-Sonus 3.5 inch speakers. I then have the next pair set up to go to the new Behringer 50 USB speakers. And the final C option monitor is going out to my PA system in my studio, which you can see behind me, this headrush system here. I have 2 FR speakers to run my headrush pedal board, but I also use this as a PA system for when we're doing band rehearsals and stuff. And I also have this big black thing here, which is a huge monitor wedge, which I run at a very low volume in here just to give a little bit of extra boost and clarity all round. It's incredibly loud. These headrush speakers are only the 8 inch rather than the 12 inch, and believe me, they are nowhere near turned up full. They are so loud. So yeah, the Behringer Studio XL, it comes in 2 models. I believe there's a Behringer Studio L as well, which has got still the 2 inputs, and I think it's only got the 2 outputs rather than the 3. So, and I think there's like £10–15 price difference. If it was me buying again, just get the XL one. It just gives you so many more options. I don't see the point of buying the Studio L for, you know, the amount of sort of real estate it takes up on your desk and the amount of options you're gaining from owning the XL. You might as well go for the XL. So there we go, that's what we did. We swapped everything over, and I'm so pleased with this unit. And when I was researching it, I did a couple of checks on YouTube to see if there was any videos on the Studio XL, and yeah, couldn't really find anything at all. There was half a dozen videos really. Some of them weren't in English language, so I couldn't understand them. So I thought I'd do my own video in case anybody's currently in the market looking for one of these things. I just wanted to say how good it is and how impressed I've been with it so far. It really, really is a good unit. In terms of the headphone outputs, they actually are amplified. So previously when I've been listening to direct monitoring or just having a feed coming out of the interface, the volume's always been very, very quiet. So when you're listening to your track back and you're trying to record vocals and that sort of stuff, I used to run an external headphone amplifier between the two, which I believe was a Behringer HA something or another, a little 4-way unit, which works absolutely fine. The headphone outputs on this unit are actually quite high output, and again they've got their own trim controls and input monitoring as well, so there's a lot of controllability. Visually you've got a level monitor as well just above the big volume knob that's in sort of central to the design. This is absolutely fantastic. It is really, really bright and actually gives you a really good visual monitor of whether your signal is clipping or not. It's great, absolutely brilliant. Yeah, really, really good, nice looking unit. Keeps your desk quite tidy, although if you've got every input used up at the back, you've got cables going everywhere. But then if you've got some kind of home studio, you'll understand the woes of cable management anyway. So there you go, guys. That is the Studio XL. It's a fantastic piece of kit. Just one thing I will say, if you are buying it from the UK, it doesn't ship with a UK plug. And I have to say, when I placed the order with Tom Ann, I literally wrote in the comments, please ship with a UK plug, and they bunged one in the box for me. And I can't fault that. That is really, really, really good service. So wherever you're going to get this from, if you're in the UK, make sure you've either got a conversion for your plug or you drop them a note and see if they'll bung in a power supply for you. So that brings me on nicely now to the Beringer USB monitor speakers. I'll just grab the box for those. There we go. High resolution 150 watt bi-amped reference studio monitors with USB input. That's what they look like on the back. Let's see if you can see that. There we go. There we go. So great speakers these were. These were about £100, really, really cheap. I was a bit dubious about buying them because obviously speakers, you want really good quality speakers, and for some reason I don't know why I thought Behringer speakers wouldn't be good quality, especially compared with the pre-Sonos speakers that I had before. But they're absolutely fantastic, and I did watch a couple of YouTube videos on these speakers. It's very, very difficult to understand how good a pair of speakers are when you're watching back through your own TV system or listening back through a pair of headphones on someone else's video, because the audio quality is never ever going to translate. And that's the entire reason why I have not done an audio sample of these Behringer speakers. You will just have to take my word for it, or see if you can watch another YouTube video with some better recording options than I have as to how good they are. These are incredibly loud. I mean, they are so much louder than my pre-Sonos speakers, and they have probably, I would say, 80% more clarity than the previous ones. I mean, they are really, really good. In terms of control, you've got input trim, you've got a high frequency switch which goes from 0 to +2 to -2 to -4 dB. You've got 2 XLR inputs, and you've also got 2 unbalanced TRS inputs on there as well. And you've also got the USB input. I'm not using that at all. I'm literally just running these straight out of the Behringer Studio XL and straight into the inputs. There is a 2 meter cable that runs from the back of one speaker to the other to hook them up, and the power switch is on the back as well. I don't know if you can see that from here. There is this bit here. It's a funny little connector, audio connector. It's not standard, so don't break it, don't lose it. But it's quite a long cable, so actually you can get quite a good spread of your monitor speakers. And I've been able to put mine next to my 3.5-inch speakers. I'll put a picture up. You should be able to see a picture on there of the way I've got them set up. There's nothing actually on the speakers at all on the front of them other than a small orange light, just to tell you they're on. So whereas my pre-Sonar speakers have got a volume dial and an on and off switch and an auxiliary out and a headphones out, these are more studio monitors, and we're not getting all of these options on there. All of your options for that sort of stuff are going to come from your audio interface or whatever other way you've connected them up. So your volume is controlled by your audio interface rather than actually being able to turn the speakers up and down like you would on the smaller set. So they're fantastic. They've got a good flat response, they've got a good bass, good mids, good treble. 100% can't fault them, and actually they are so good. Normally if I was just playing guitar, doing some practice, playing some backing tracks or whatever, I'd pop in the studio and we'd bung on the big PA system and we'd put the headrush pedal board through and noodle away. It was incredibly loud, but now I can just come in, plug in and go through these monitor speakers, and actually because they're flat response anyway, they sound really, really good. So you can play guitar without having to turn everything on if you just want to come over just for some quick sort of noodling around. So yeah, really, really good. So all in all, you're going to get yourself a Studio XL, a pair of these speakers for £235. If you're looking around for audio interfaces and monitor speakers, and you're looking at, you know, other options, even things like the Scarlett or the M Audio, if you really, you know, want to splash the cash and get your Apollo stuff, you know, it's a big chunk of money you're going to have to spend to get yourself some studio gear. Whereas this, you're spending very, very, very small amounts really to get a really, really good setup. A really good setup. £135, £100 for the speakers. Get yourself a monitor, grab yourself an Apple Mac, and for less than £1,000 you've well and truly set yourself up with a good studio setup. So if you're on a budget, definitely check it out. That's about it in terms of the studio gear. So hopefully it's given you a little bit of insight. I wanted to make the video, like I say, just purely because I was so impressed, you know, with this gear really. This Studio XL, there just seems to be nobody talking about it, and it's been out for ages, and it's just why would you buy a small audio interface when you've got something that's not much more expensive with lots more controllability over it? So I wanted to do a video just to highlight that really, and just give you a little bit of insight into the kind of setup that I'm using when I'm doing my recording or when I'm just doing my practicing and that sort of stuff as well. So in that video, obviously I was using a Harley Benton gold top guitar, which you can see just over the back here. 2 P90 pickups, absolutely brilliant guitar. I will do a separate review on that later down the line. It takes me ages to do these YouTube videos, so apologies if they're slow in coming out. We're busy with rehearsals and things for shows coming up, so I do it as and when I can. But I really wanted to get this one done just to tell you how impressed I am with these two pieces of Behringer equipment. So hopefully that's given you some information, and if you are looking at these products and you've seen this video, you might go, do you know what, I might give that a try, you know. Let me know what you think, guys. If you own one of these or you own the two lots of speakers, you know, let me know in the comments how you've got them set up, whether you enjoy using them, if you think it's good value for money, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks very much. Bye for now.